All right, Chad. AppCast has launched AppCast career sites.
There we go.
Wait a minute. I gotta check my notes. Is this a story from 2010? 2000 what? Okay. Oh no, it's now. Okay, here we go.
Hide your kids. Lock the doors. You're listening to HR's most dangerous podcast. Chad Sowash and Joel Cheeseman are here to punch the recruiting industry right where it hurts. Complete with breaking news, brash opinion, and loads of snark. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time for the Chad and Cheese Podcast.
Oh, yeah. You wanted the best. You got the best. Hey, kids, it's the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel. Is this it? Cheeseman.
And this is Chad, unintended consequences, Sowash.
And on this episode of HR's most dangerous podcast, disposition data, disappearing ads, and slop busters.
What?
Let's do this.
Hello, I'm Omar, founder and CEO of JobPixel. I'm going to talk about two things. Number one is JobPixel. We do short form video content. So if you're a recruitment marketing or employer branding leader, you have to do video content, collect content from your employees. You're going to be able to show impact that you've never seen before. Number two, I would love to talk about People Brain Collective. People Brain Collective is a new organization that just got started by some of the best minds in our industry. And it brings all recruitment marketing and employer branding leaders together in one place to have a conversation about the impact of their work. I promise you, it's something you do not want to miss. So after this video, you'll see a QR code. Scan that QR code with your phone, go to their website and sign up for a membership. You will not regret it. They have amazing people talking about the best topics you'll absolutely love. Thank you, and I can't wait to see you there.
Slop it up, big boy. Whew, man,
Sup,
it's been
Chad?
forever since we've been on a show together.
It has 8 weeks, 2 months. I don't know. That's why our listenership is increasing. We're not on the show together anymore. Everyone loves it. Yeah. How you been? Saw you in England, obviously, but you took a little break last week. You had a little stag party. Like, give us the Chad update.
Yeah, I mean, RecFest, as always, was amazing. Thanks to Jamie and crew. And if you're not already registered to go to the U.S. and Nashville, well, get your ass going over to recfest.com. Graham Harper, I don't know if you remember this or not, because you were a little drunk at RecFest. He hooked us up with some magnificent rum, Welsh rum, which it was funny.
Welsh rum, just like the pirates used to drink back in the day. Just like the Welsh rum.
It's called Barty, Barti. Anyway,
okay.
Graham is amazing. He hooked us up. It was delicious. But yeah, going to the
which worked great, Chad. By the way, where we were, we get the little speakers lounge. We get the hidden the VIP place. Mm-hmm. So we actually had to pay for beer. But the sodas were free, so we get the Pepsi Max, and we'd spike it with the rum. So we were cost conscious this year with drinking free. Thanks to Graham. Thanks for Graham on that one.
And we started the America's 250th celebration on a boat in Mallorca, and we did it with Lee Greenwood singing. Tim Sackett was there with his Stars and Stripes, Speedo. I mean, it was all good. It was a good time.
God, no! So set this up for us. You leave RecFest.
Yeah.
Our friend Chris Long getting married, stag party. So you go to Mallorca. Everyone's feeling very sorry for you at this point. So you meet up with a who's who of recruiting folks. Yeah. And have a good time. I don't even know. You're on a boat with thongs.
I did not have a thong.
Okay.
The thing is, I mean, Jamie Leonard was there. Dude just threw a huge ass RecFest / party. And next thing you know, he's in Mallorca with us. Mark Chaffee, Sam from Hackajot. I mean, obviously Chris Long. I mean, we had a who's who, right? It was a blast. And the beautiful thing is that we're not 20 years old doing a stag do, which means we can eat better, we can drink better, we can charter boats and do really good shit. So we had a blast, man. We had a blast.
Yes, you sacrifice what your liver can do for expensive shit. I get it.
Exactly.
That's great. So the Odyssey, before we get to the World Cup, the Odyssey movie is coming out by the time this podcast drops. Mm-hmm. Is it a big deal in Europe? Are you guys like it's very huge here. The reviews, I guess, opening night we're recording on a Wednesday, but the opening night was last night.
Yeah.
Huge reviews. You're going to go see it. I know you're a movie guy. You excited? You love the Chris Nolan stuff. What's going on?
I do love it. There's a lot of buzz that's happening, on the boob tube. Mm-hmm. But to be quite frank, I mean, ever since COVID, I have just not been excited about going to the movies.
Yeah.
So in its more chill life here. So it's like when I see it, I'll see it. It doesn't have to be this weekend. It doesn't have to be long lines or any of that shit. I might just wait till it's on Dodgy Box. I don't know.
I'm guessing there's no IMAX in the Algarve that you can go and really experience the movie like it's supposed to be.
I don't know. I don't know. I know we've got great theaters, but I don't know if they're IMAX.
Well, I got a new term for you, and you might get to experience it before the actual real movie. So it's a new term now is Slop Buster. So we know Blockbuster, the big movie,
Blockbuster movie. Yeah.
So Slop Buster now is something that's being bantered about. There's a movie called Odysseus, which is basically a wannabe Odyssey movie, and it was totally made with AI. Guy was on CNBC yesterday. It cost what he said was in the mid 5 figures to produce this movie. So I got to know, like, AI slop, or are we ready for the movie theaters to be filled with slop?
I don't think we're ready for it, but it's coming. And from what I understand, with this movie, it was total slop. So yeah, I think a lot of what we're seeing with AI right now is literally we're still in the R&D phase of how we use AI and so on and so forth. Can it be good for like short term like CGI stuff? Yeah, I think it's going to be good for that, but to actually do a full movie, I don't think so. I don't think we're there yet.
It is the cover band of media. Yeah. Yes, the Slop Buster. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But sloppy stuff AI wise is coming to social media as well. Chad, I don't know if you saw this. Fast Company talked about which social media platform has the most AI slop. And surprise, surprise, LinkedIn holds the crown as having the most AI generated content. Weird. I'm not surprised. Are you?
Well, no, yes and no. I mean, it's weird. Mm-hmm. It's weird because it's the professional network, number one. And I see so much AI slop like on Instagram and on TikTok already. Yep. But I do have to say this whole, and I wish JT was here because she loves her some LinkedIn, but I am seeing so much irrelevant shit just popping up in my feed constantly. And there's some AI slop that's in there. There's no question, but it's just like LinkedIn used to be relevant, used to be content from my community, from my network. And now it just seems to be, it's slop, whether it's AI slop or not. It's just slop entirely. It's too much. It's weird. I hope they tweak the algorithm to make it more relevant.
Yeah, I think most platforms will degrade AI generated stuff. The Fast Company story talked about that more than 40% of LinkedIn posts longer than 250 words were flagged as being fully written by AI. So these are probably long articles, longer thought. I mean, these are people like throwing in an article and saying like, hey, create a summary for this, make it sound like I'm doing it, and then posting stuff easily. A lot of corporations, if it's my job to post stuff on LinkedIn, I'm like, yeah, okay, like take an article, write a summary of it, and I'm going to post it on LinkedIn. Whereas TikTok is much more, hey guy, it's much more personal than LinkedIn is. Too much.
And it's video versus text version, right? So you get a little ways through like an article, and you're like, oh, this is AI wrote this shit. Yep. When you're watching a video, it's almost instantaneous. You can tell that it's AI slop. Yeah. So it's a little bit different.
A lot of pictures now. Obviously, I mean, we're guilty of this. Like, it's a lot easier just to create an image of something than it is to actually hire someone to design an image. So and it's a little bit fun too.
Over 80% of you watching right now, you watch over and over. We know you do, but you haven't liked and you haven't subscribed. Let's do that. Let's do that now.
So obviously, World Cup, we're in the final throes of it. It'll be over the next time that we record. Wearing my England t-shirt here. I know your team Portugal was bumped by Spain a couple weeks ago, but as we record this, Spain has just defeated France. England, Argentina are still ready to play. I was curious as an American, Portugal, Spain, I know they don't like each other. No. Give me a sense as an American. Is this like Red Sox, Yankees? Is it Michigan, Ohio State? Like, how deep does this rivalry go?
Yeah, it's a big rivalry. It is Michigan, Ohio State. No doubt. They do not like each other. So last night it was funny in the bar. All the Portuguese were rooting against Spain. Yeah, and all the English were rooting for Spain because they wanted to play Spain. They didn't want to play. They didn't want to play France. Okay. So it was a tale of two teams last night.
All right. Well, since they haven't played yet, give me a prediction: Argentina, England, and of course, by the time this drops, you'll either be right or wrong. Yeah,
I mean that's hard, especially watching France last night, thinking that they would give Spain a hell of a fight, and they didn't. So it's like, which team actually shows up? Yeah, I hate to say this, but I really think England is they just have either Harry Kane or, I mean, fucking, Bellingham shows up. I mean, it's just like somebody's going to show up, right? And they haven't had, I think, a bad match yet. I think their early match was bad with Congo. But other than that, I think everything is good. And I think Messi, he used a lot of his magic to come back. From a 2-score differential to score, for those guys to score 3 goals.
Yeah, when the GOATs are in these kind of games, whether it's the Super Bowl, Game 7 of whatever, like the GOATs tend to escalate their game, and Messi is that GOAT. So the Bellingham Kane 2-headed monster versus the GOAT. I think it's going to be a hell of a game.
And take a look at Argentina though too. Their draw has been so much easier. At this point. So this is really, I mean, I think their biggest test. The biggest question is, do they have more fuel in the tank because they haven't had such? I mean, their last match obviously, but they haven't had such huge tests. This, I think, is going to be a big test. Yeah,
I think it's going to be a great game. Obviously, I'm going with England for the win, if nothing else, because I want to hear Wonderwall at the end of another victory for that. But, enough of this. Enough of this. It's been fun though. World Cup has been great. Been awesome event as always. And then it's time for football, baby. But now,
amen.
It's time for shout outs.
Oh, right.
Is it time for shout outs?
All right, Chad. This shout outs is powered by our friends at Aspen Tech Labs. If you love free beer, and who doesn't, we'll get ready to turn into a sloppy summertime life of the party. But you can't win if you don't play, Chad. That's right. Aspen Tech is only giving beers to people who actually go to chadcheese.com/free to get a chance to replace that shit beer that's in your mom's fridge in the basement with some actual good stuff, everybody. That's right. Get the good beer. Get the good beer. All right, Chad, shout outs. What you got?
So I'm going to start out with the shout out. I'm going to go back to World Cup really quick to make my segue. It seems like politics is fucking everything up. The World Cup was going so smoothly. Everything was great. Everything was great. Yep. And then Donald Trump has to come in and, pull the red card. And it really just kind of like screwed all of like the mojo and momentum of the World Cup. I think it's coming back, but in a day where politics are corrupt and you can't trust anyone on the ballot, my shout out goes to Count Binface, who is running for Member of Parliament. We call them MPs in the upcoming Clacton by the Sea election, which is scheduled for August 13th, 2026. I'm sure you don't know who this Count Binface is, so go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
Oh, my God.
Who are you? My name, what kind of journalist is this? You don't know? Have a look.
I've got my list here.
It's not Burnham.
No, I realise that. Oh, you're Count Binface, yeah?
There you go. You did go to journalism school. Excellent. Yes,
A long time ago.
I beg your pardon?
I said a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, well, I wouldn't have known. You were 20.
Why are you standing in this election? Just a stunt?
It's A, because it's happening. B, I was at a loose end. C, because I believe elected mayors should serve out their terms before they're eligible to stand for Parliament.
Oh, you've made a sensible serious political point there.
Well, no, you're supposed to be impartial, mate. So let me carry on. I'm going to rephrase the traffic lights on Liverpool Road. I'll price cap Wick and kebabs at £2. I'll make cyclists who disobey the highway code have to ride unicycles instead. And I will turn HS2 into FFS1 and reroute it.
Not going to swear, are you?
No. I'm perfect. Although we are past the watershed, but don't worry. I'm a
No. We don't want you swearing, please.
I promise I won't. I'm a good boy. And no, but I'm going to reroute it to rail executives' homes. I'm going to build at least one affordable house. I mean, I could go on. What's Andy said he's going to do?
Oh, he said lots he's going to do, and he changes his mind from time to time. But
oh, the Brits.
So yes, if you're listening, that was a man in a costume dressed up as a garbage can. He has a garbage can as a head. That's Count Binface. And Count Binface is running against Nigel Farage. And his ultimate selling point, Count Binface, is vote for me. I am not Nigel Farage. And for anybody who doesn't know who Farage is, he was one of the main proponents of Brexit. Mm-hmm. Count Binface's campaign promises is he will cap croissants at £1. He just heard that he was going to cap a Wigan kebabs at £2. He's going to abolish VAR in football, and he's going to nationalize Adele. I don't know what that means, but he's going to nationalize Adele. And last but not least,
the singer
yes,
Adele.
He's going to nationalize Adele. And he's going to rename London Bridge to Phoebe Waller-Bridge. You know, the lead actor from Fleabag. Anyway, in a time where politics sucks, shout out to a fresh new face. He's a comedian. Go figure. For me, shout out to Count Binface.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
It's amazing.
All right, Chad. I'm going to try to one up Trash Face, Ben Face, for those Americans that are listening. So my shout out goes to this poor son of a bitch. Let's call him Vladimir Bobbitt. This is going to escalate quickly. So remember John and Lorena Bobbitt in the 90s, Chad?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes. So for those who don't remember, made famous by cutting off John's penis after a fight. If you remember the 90s, you remember John Bobbitt. Well, I think a couple Muscovites might be trying to top it. A jealous wife in Moscow bit off. That's right, bit off her husband's penis after finding a text message from another woman, not catching him in the act with another woman, a text message. To make it worse, she sharpened her teeth with a file to make her attack more effective. Gee, this chick's quite a peach. The husband, now unable to achieve an erection, shocker, is now raising their 7-year-old child alone while she is in prison. Her sentence, Chad, for biting off a man's penis is a whopping 5 years. Now, for context, Chad, you remember when WNBA star Brittany Griner was arrested in Russia for weed?
Yes.
That sentence, jail time, was 9 years. So biting off a penis, 5 years. Weed, 9 years. Talk about a messed up penal system. You know what I'm saying?
Dad jokes.
So shout out for, I guess, our comrade John Bobbitt 2.0. That's what I'm calling him. That poor bastard. Good luck to you, my friend.
That's horrible.
All right. We're not traveling, Chad, but I know that we do always want to talk about where we're going eventually.
Events. Where are we going, boys?
Okay.
We love us some Shaker recruitment marketing. I don't know if I'm spoiling it, but they're going to be in Nashville. May or may not be on stage with Shaker.
Possibly.
I guess.
We'll see.
See what happens.
On the Disrupt stage. I don't know. Might happen.
Let's get to topics, Chad.
There we go.
Topics!
All right. Well, Chad, I'm still recovering from my June vacation, basking in Italy, Paris, Belgium. So why don't you got some inside info on Indeed? Sure. They've been behaving badly recently. What you got?
So, and while you're at it, minding the media there, get the drum roll sound effect ready. Okay. So we've talked about how Indeed is trying their damnedest to force, leverage, coerce, whatever you want to call it, companies to provide Indeed with their disposition data. Mm-hmm. Well, Lou Goodman wrote a great article called 106 Things Disposition Data Can't Tell You.
Wow.
I reached out to Lou and said, hey, can you do that in a top 3? So here's Lou Goodman's top 3 reasons why using disposition data is stupid. Number 1, job descriptions suck. Everything starts with the quality of the input. And again, we're talking about signals here. Mm-hmm. If the job advert didn't accurately reflect what the employer actually wanted, whether because requirements change or key criteria aren't included or the role was defined poorly, and that happens all the time, then you're measuring candidates against a flawed benchmark. Even excellent candidates can appear to be poor matches if the job data itself is flawed. There you go. So job descriptions suck, and we all know that. Number 2, capacity sucks. There seems to be an assumption that a negative disposition outcome equals poor quality application, but a candidate may have been rejected because the recruiter only had the capacity to interview 5 people. Mm-hmm. Stopped reviewing after finding good enough or never even reached their application. So not selected often tells you more about employer capacity than candidate quality. And last but not least, number 3 is disposition codes themselves just suck. Even if the hiring decision was perfectly valid, you still have to trust the data. Rejection reasons are often self-defined, inconsistently applied, or selected as default admin codes simply to close a requisition. I don't know how many systems I know that literally you could bulk disposition code candidates, bulk code. Okay. So this makes the data set far less reliable than it needs to be to drive key decisions about optimization. So that's the 3. Thanks, Lou. And if you want to read 106 things disposition data can't tell you, just go over to jobboarddoctor.com. Thanks, Lou. We appreciate it.
Sounds like Lou's not falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
She's not. And I mean, and if you've ever worked in these systems before, you know how messy and crappy the data is. So to think that you're going to get great data is just fucking ridiculous.
I think disposition data and Indeed's real focus on that. I think it was one of my predictions for the years that Indeed would buy an ATS to get to the disposition data. I think that's been a huge airball for them.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't as easy as they expected it to be to get people to do that. I think agencies pushed back. I think employers pushed back. Nobody wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And so in addition to the reasons that you've stated, it's a tough system anyway, but I think the consumer and the agencies around that have totally pushed back on disposition data, and Indeed has been forced to pivot, which will kind of lead me to some of your other points here that are coming up. So I agree, 106. So Lou, get a life, man. Come on, 106.
She needs to take a breath. You need to take a breath.
I can't come up with 106 of anything, let alone some goofy disposition data.
She's just that wonky, and that's why we love her.
Yeah, God love her. What else you got?
We receive email strings, and we have great discussions with companies all the time, right? All the time. But a lot of the times it's on the down low. It's just to be able to say, hey, I can't believe we're getting fucked like this. And it's from vendor to vendor to vendor to vendor.
People trust us.
They do, but they don't want to come out in the open with it for any reason. So I received an email string from Hamra Enterprises Senior VP of HR, Sonia Brewer. And she said, hey, share it. I said, okay, great. I love it. She sent this to me because she knows many companies are having problems with Indeed, that transparency in the market would help. it wouldn't hurt. So being able to put this story out there would actually help, because other companies would say, oh shit, we're having the same problem. So first and foremost, who is Hamra Enterprises? Well, they are a prominent family-owned hospitality and multi-brand franchise owner headquartered in Springfield, Missouri, founded in 1975. Wow. The company has grown from a single fast food location into a major industry player with roughly 200 locations and 7,400 employees, and an annual revenue reaching over $450 million.
There you go.
All right,
That's the entity at play here who was having the discussion with Indeed, just to be able to set the table for the players, right? So phase one, we're going to break this down chronologically. Phase one was the problem. So Hamra Enterprises noticed that if they manually type in Wendy's or Panera, those are the two major franchises that they own. If they type those keywords into Indeed for towns where they have active, high budget, premium sponsored ads, their job listings do not appear at all. Well, Indeed's representative explained that the platform had moved away from basic keyword searches, those piddly to an AI driven matching platform. They told Sonia that her manual spot check searches are misleading. They're old school and misleading because she is not logged in as a candidate. They showed her reports that her ad was generating plenty of low cost, and it's kind of like one of those go away kid things, right? So Sonia came back and said, hey, look, typical 16-year-olds looking for a fast food job will literally just type in Wendy's into a search bar, right?
Wendy's near me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She then leveraged her position as a senior member of the Wendy's Franchise Association and threatened to pull ad spend and push it to companies like ZipRecruiter, while also rallying other national franchise owners to do the same. And so it's one thing to piss off Hamra with 200 locations and 7,400 employees, but wait until you start pissing off the other Wendy's peeps who have 6,000 locations, about 6,000 locations, right?
Yep.
So that was phase one. It was kind of like, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And Houston was like, no, the Rocket's fine. No, it's okay, right? Phase two, Indeed's technical team admits there is an actual back-end issue because Hamra's jobs.
I'm shocked at that.
Yeah.
By the way.
Well, I mean,
they admitted.
Yeah. Hamra's jobs are mapped to Hamra Enterprises and that parent page. Yep. And Indeed's algorithm is, quote unquote, accidentally suppressing those jobs from appearing when users search for brands like Wendy's and Panera Bread. So what they told her at first was total bullshit. Now they're coming back and say, yes, there's an issue. We're suppressing because, your page is Hamra. It's not Wendy's. It's not Panera, whatever. Right.
Yep.
So Indeed proposes a Band-Aid fix of unlinking Hamra's jobs from the corporate umbrella page. Now, Sonia doesn't like this because,
she's proud of her company.
And it's a Band-Aid, right? But it's peak hiring season, and she needs to get this shit done. So she agrees to do that. Then, and just so we get the chronological, this starts in April. We're now in late June, early July. Hamra is hiring 50 associates for a brand new grand opening in Texas. Once again, their Panera Bread job ads are completely invisible in manual searches. Compounding their frustrations, Sonia clearly sees competitor job postings when she's searching. She's searching and she's seeing McDonald's and she's seeing other local restaurants, but she's not seeing their Panera in the same search. Indeed escalates, brings in the director of sales to provide a deep structural explanation of Indeed's algorithmic behavior. Exactly what a VP of HR wants, right? Indeed-splaining, right? That's exactly. Anyway, completely out of patience at this point, rejecting the algorithmic bullshit explanation that they tried to do before, and then they said it was a problem. Sonia cuts the conversation completely with the final 2 sentences in the email. No, I am not interested. I just want the search tool to work as it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Not as you designed it. I'm done. So as we all know, and again, we're bashing Indeed right now. Okay. This happens in many companies. I remember when I was at Monster. There are many companies, right?
Sure.
It's all about how you take care of the situation. You treat your customers with kid gloves. You give them customer service. You don't just bat them away with bullshit, excuses. And that's exactly what happened here.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
To me, so Indeed knows that 20% of their customers are in a position where they're going to say, like, they understand what's going on. They actually do searches like this. They actually get, shout out that she got a VP or director of sales on the phone. She's spending enough money to get a director on the phone.
That's what it is.
Because before that, it was Joey Bag of Donuts, first job out of college trying to deal with this.
Yes.
I'm pretty convinced that Indeed believes the future of hiring is agents. All I hear from them is Talent Scout, Career Scout.
Yeah.
Whether they're right or wrong, I think they believe the future of job search is job seekers using agents and ultimately employers using agents. And this whole thing about like where my job is, why aren't I showing up? Why am I paying more? That to me, that to them is a temporary issue that they'll deal with. And I think they're comfortable with the fact that, you know what, we're going to lose 20% of our users, the people who are actually like looking at what we're doing. But you know what, 80% of the people, they're just going to keep paying the bill that we send them. They're just going to keep paying the invoice. They're not going to pay attention, right? Yeah. And they're probably right, unfortunately. Right? They're probably right. 80% of their people. And if they can raise the prices on 80%, then they can lose the 20% because they're making more on the 80% that just don't pay attention. Oof. And what if are they right or not? I don't know. But what I hear out of Indeed is a lot of Talent Scout.
Yes.
People like it. It works. Like that's the future. And the job seeker side, I don't hear as much, but I'm assuming that a lot of job seekers are using that as well.
The Career Scout.
Ultimately, I think Indeed believes that the recruiters are just a mosquito that they'll get rid of at some point, and that they'll deal directly with heads of companies, CEOs, smaller companies, etc. Remember when the iPhone came out and there weren't buttons? They didn't have the BlackBerry buttons, and everybody was mad about like, where's my fucking buttons? I'm never going to use an iPhone because it doesn't have the buttons. Well, 20 years later, there's no buttons. It's all a screen. And I think we'll see if they're right or wrong, but I think Indeed believes these pesky recruiters that are asking questions about why isn't my job showing up won't matter because they'll all be replaced by agents. And I think Indeed just doesn't give a shit. God bless her that she's spending enough that she got a director on the phone. Yeah. But I really don't, and I don't know if Indeed is telling their people this. I think they're telling them like, okay, let's steady the ship. You're going to have a job. You're not going to be replaced. We'll need just as many salespeople. I think they're slow rolling this whole thing about agents are going to interview agents, and all these people in the middle are just a nuisance that we have to deal with for the next few years.
The biggest issue, especially just talking about what you're talking about with agents right now, is it all has to do with data, right? And we're seeing, even crazy Palantir CEO, I can't remember his name right now. Alex, what's his fuck?
Carp,
Carp. He's talking about how all of the data is actually just creating shit, right? Because we're not getting clean data. So we just talked about disposition codes, right? We're talking about a lot of these signals that the Indeeds of the world want to use. Well, then you talk about Career Scout, which we talked about a few weeks ago with the job seekers. Well, Career Scout is going to be able to take your resume and AI fluff it. It's literally just an AI fluffer, for God's sake. It's gonna fluff your resume to match the job description, right? That's garbage. And we just heard from Lou. the job description for the most part is garbage. So we're matching garbage and we're trying to fluff garbage. It's fucking ridiculous. So personally, I hope they waste hundreds of millions of dollars trying to make this work and it falls flat as fuck. But to be quite frank, still, if I am a company, I'm a hiring company, I'm an enterprise, there's no way in hell I'm giving a vendor my fucking data, especially, and again, back to Alex Karp talking about why are you paying for a service when they're getting your data? They should be paying you for the data.
Yeah.
If it's so good for Signal and their long-term infrastructure in building their large language model, why aren't they paying you? That's the question. They're trying to sneak one by you.
60% of the time, it works every time.
You bring up a really great point. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. Our industry used to be about people connecting with people, and the technology was just a means by which you could get together.
Yeah.
And now the business is like tech talking to tech with a tech in the middle. And to your point, jobs suck. Mercor had an acquisition this week where basically they want agents to train the data because they're running out of humans and human knowledge is only so big. LinkedIn is now getting sued, I think, in Texas for ghost jobs.
Yeah.
Not that it's their fault, but like people are just posting jobs to get like the funnel filled. I don't know, but we're losing the human aspect of this whole industry, and it's not going to end in a good place. It's just not going to end in a good place. It'll be fun to watch, but it's funny how our job has gone from like, hey, how can people connect with people and diversity and inclusion and more people and like, let's fuck the people. Let's just have shit out there that interview shit and hope that stuff works out. But I'm hearing from job seekers, like I'm applying to tons of jobs. I'm getting, I assume, just caught up in the tsunami of shit, and I'm getting ignored. So no one's happy in this scenario. We'll see how it ends, but it's not unfolding to go into a good place. Unlike this show, which is unfolding to be an epic episode of the Chad and Cheese podcast. Guys, if you're not connected to us, if you're not subscribed, please give us a like, give us a follow, give us a comment. We will be right back.
At Shaker Recruitment Marketing, our comprehensive services include branding, talent attraction, MarTech, and analytics, empowering you to achieve your recruitment marketing goals. We believe in doing things the right way, delivering the right message through the right activation, achieving the right conversion. For us, business is deeply personal. Our legacy is built on relationships. Together with our people, clients, and partners, we've been shaping the world of talent for over 70 years.
I think we'll cover speed and hiring.
Did somebody say speed? Then buckle up, boys. You're about to learn how to hire fast.
Who is that?
Vetty Betty. From Vetty, the hiring acceleration platform. Come on, man, keep up. What's up, Betty?
Hey, Chad. Vetty makes high compliance hiring easy. Background checks, licensing verifications, and health screenings, all in one place. Real-time updates, no red tape, and no delays. Hiring managers can move fast, stay smooth, and close the deal.
So they just sit back and watch. Hell, I could watch this all day.
That's right. Relax, enjoy the view, and don't lose the hire. It's that simple. With Vetty, it's all taken care of before they can even catch their breath.
Best lesson ever.
Class dismissed, boys. Vetty. Hiring as it should be. Visit vetty.co to learn more.
All right, Chad, it's back to news. But before we get to that, Chad, this next segment is sponsored by our friends at Proven Base.
Ooh.
You love free bourbon? Well, who doesn't love some free bourbon, Chad? Am I right?
Oh, I love chicken cock. I do. I love
That's
it.
right. Well, our friends at Proven Base are making miracles happen but you can't win if you don't play, Chad. Go visit chadcheese.com/free today for your chance to finally let your liver know who's boss. And now to the news. Recruitics has announced a partnership with MakiPeople to integrate AI-powered interviewing into the pre-apply experience. This integration allows employers to conduct initial screenings through AI voice interviews within the application flow, providing deeper candidate insights and reducing application friction. That's per the company. The partnership aims to improve candidate quality and hiring outcomes by shifting candidate assessment to an earlier stage of the hiring journey. Chad, give us a hot take on this move by Recruitics.
Yeah, hot takes are short. You're going to have to give me some runway on this one because, I mean, I love me some startups, some companies like Recruitics and MakiPeople that are trying to move fast and innovate. I just love that. Unfortunately, sometimes when you're moving fast, there are unexpected and unintended consequences. But get ready, kids, because I'm going to get a little wonky on you.
Okay.
And let me give listeners a little background about me. I was the lead in building the National Labor Exchange, where I worked arm in arm with Fortune 500 companies, National Association of State Workforce Agencies, federal and local governments, OFCCP, vets, you name it. Yes, I spent way too much fucking time in Washington, D.C., okay?
And you're still angry about it.
Yes, I'm not happy. It's even worse now. Anyway, so this type of tech could negatively impact 750,000 companies who take U.S. taxpayers' money in the form of federal contracts. So no surprise, those companies want to keep receiving that taxpayer cash, right, with those contracts. And they also want to lower their risk profiles. Why? Because if you're a federal contractor of the U.S. government and you are receiving tax dollars from the American people, and your burden of fair and equitable treatment of those citizens, it's actually higher because you're taking millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of taxpayer monies, right? That makes sense. You owe the American people a higher standard. That's what we're saying here, right?
Sure.
So when it comes down to it, you have to treat the customer, the U.S. taxpayer, better, the candidates better. So over the years, the federal contractors actually worked with the government, and they have devised different methods to manage applicant pools and the risk associated. One of those methods is employing data management techniques, which allows a company to consider, which is the defined term in legislation. They consider a predetermined set of candidates that meet basic qualifications. So what does consider mean? It really just means that you've reviewed the resume or application. You've looked at their stuff, right? So instead of reviewing or considering, in this case, a huge pile of resumes, it's just much easier to manage only a subset. And that's what this data management techniques is saying. Look, here's a standard operating procedure. Instead of 1,000 resumes, which we just can't go through in enough time, we're going to select in a certain manner anywhere from, let's say, 10, 30 or whatever it might be. That will actually drop your risk profile. Now, with this MakiPeople and Recruitics partnership, it changes the game completely. First, the huge pile of applicants, which is growing and growing and growing, becomes more manageable because the tech actually manages the sheer numbers. And I love that, right? But here are the unintended consequences. Now you're not just considering a subset, which would make your risk profile low. With Recruitics and MakiPeople, you are considering all who meet the basic qualifications. You're considering the huge pile. So statistically, your risk explodes. Now, I hear you. Why isn't consideration good? Of course it is. But from a defensibility standpoint, think of a class action suit. Let's say, for instance, like Mobley versus Workday. Okay. That cohort of impacted individuals is already large. Well, imagine this. Imagine it was 10 to 100 times larger because MakiPeople performed pre-apply interviews beforehand, right? Exploding that number of considered candidates. Now, at the end of the day, I appreciate MakiPeople and recruiters are trying to make the job more manageable and fair, but in the process, they've created literally more consideration risk for companies.
Yeah.
They effectively eliminated a defensible position, which was data management techniques that companies and U.S. government created because they're doing things before the process, right? To address that, it's too much and it's too fast. And it's the unintended consequences. And I'm gonna go back to JT, what she always says on the show, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And more importantly, with the current administration, it might feel like you're going to get away with anything, but you got to remember the adults are going to show back up someday.
That's why you listen to the show, Chad, because you go deep on these issues. You go deep, and you bring a perspective that I, for one, never would have sort of thought about going back to your history.
They didn't, obviously.
With the DC, yeah. To me, I find this. I'm going to have a totally different take on this because I don't have that experience. But to me, this is chatbot 2.0. A lot of people believe that the future of interviewing, hiring, the whole process is going to be this sort of voice generated automation solution. And we have Greenhouse acquiring Ezra recently. Mm-hmm. We have Ashby and Llama. Now we have this partnership with Recruitics and MakiPeople. It just gives me chatbot vibes. It reminds me of when Maya was getting acquired, Wade and Wendy. Who else we got? Alio, XOA, or whatever they were.
Maya,
and they all got acquired really pretty early. And I don't know if that was no profitability or just everyone wanted to get on it. To me, this feels very much like that. Like, we believe this is the future. We're going to make an acquisition. We're going to do a deal. And this to me is what we're seeing. Now, interestingly, out of the chatbot sort of revolution, you had one apex predator kind of come out of that, and it was Paradox, who didn't do a deal until, I guess, the timing was right. Right. And also a lot of this new tech was coming on. So, I think timing was perfect for the Paradox acquisition.
Yeah.
So I guess it's less about, is this the right thing to do? This is a race. This is like, we'll shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
This shit'll work out. You have Alex.com, which I'm an investor. You have Tenzo, you have Jack and Jill, which is both job seeker. But this whole voice thing where it sounds like a person, it feels like a person, it's sort of, it's a gatekeeper to, is this really a human being? They're all trying to provide tools to do that. I ultimately think this is a good move by Recruitics to put a chip on the table to say, look, we're going to take a bet on this without actually buying the company. Maybe they'll be in a good position to buy them in the future if it does work out. But a lot of companies are putting down bets that this is the future, similar to how they thought chatbots were the future. And we'll see who comes out of this, if there is an apex predator. But yeah, good move by them. I think it's a good move by Greenhouse. It was a good move by Ashby. And it's no surprise that both of those ATSs are sort of the ones we talk about doing cool things, doing progressive things, and doing things, putting bets on the future. So that's sort of my take. Totally different from yours. I just look at it as a tech perspective. It's like, look, if we don't get on board with this technology, we're going to be left behind, and we'd rather take a bet on it, a flyer on it. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. We at least made a bet on the future. Maybe it'll be huge, and we'll hit a home run with it.
Yeah, I agree, and I just think that things need to be thought out. And again, it's move fast, break shit. And that's kind of like the thing that, to be quite frank, food social media kind of broke society to some extent. So we have to be more measured. We have to be smarter about how we do these things. And to be quite frank, I mean, I actually reached out to CEO of MakiPeople, reached out to Adam over at Recruitics, and starting to have good conversations with them to help them understand where the problems are. Yeah. Because they don't understand. They might have, I think, like Josh Burson or some shit like that. It's like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Exactly. It's like, what? You know, yeah. It's just, it's weird, because it's like we've turned into move fast, break shit before somebody else gets there. And it's like, well, I don't know if you remember or not, but usually the first ones that get there are the ones with the arrows in their face, right?
Yep.
Go be smart. I like these moves. I like what they're trying to do. The thing is, They really have to do enough due diligence up front. They got to bring the right experts in to be able to get to this. So I hope they actually land in the right place, because right now, if I'm a federal contractor, and which are pretty much just about every Fortune 500 company that's out there right now, there's no way in hell I'm touching this with a 10-foot pole.
There might be a wee problem, boys.
And we didn't even touch on FICRA issues. I mentioned the LinkedIn ghost jobs, which the state of Texas, like, there's got move fast and break shit. Well, the government eventually catches on, and this stuff does come to light, and lawsuits are filed. So we'll see. We'll see how this ends. Moving to our next story, Chad. The three amigos, if you will. hireEZ has partnered with Nexxt, that's Nexxt with 2 X's, and Talroo to integrate their talent marketplaces and job advertising platform into hireEZ's AI-powered recruitment platform. This consolidation aims to automate candidate sourcing and engagement, reducing manual tasks for recruiters. The Nexxt integration is immediately available, while Talroo is expected to enter early customer deployments during 2026 before a broader availability. The three amigos, Chad, what you got?
Well, this just feels like Talroo, Nexxt, and hireEZ are trying to build a natural competitor to Indeed, unlike the paper tiger ZipRecruiter has been for years. And all I can say is it's about fucking time. I mean, how many times have we said on the show, we're stronger together? Well, it looks like, these 3 companies are trying to make that happen. So instead of trying to duplicate what your competitor has built, invite some friends over and build something together. You've got more resources, you've got more staff, and obviously you're all smaller than what Indeed is, or some of the big guys that are out there. So get together, be stronger. I sent a message over to Steven, the co-founder and CEO of hireEZ, and I asked if one of the sources of candidates are from the ATS and CRM. And he said, yes. He said, yes. hireEZ rediscovers and re-engages ATS candidates to invite them to apply for the current openings. Basically, our EZ agent, get what they did there, is a organization or an orchestration layer on top of the funnel to unify pools from the open web, job board, Talroo, vetted community, Nexxt, and ATS previous applicants and programmatic ads to be announced with a big player. Ooh, who might that be? We call it the agentic top of the funnel. That's funny. Now ask yourself, is Indeed doing that, helping you rediscover candidates within your own system, which you've already paid for? No, they're not doing that. So, big applause to these guys for at least saying, look, we can't take the mammoth down by ourselves. Let's get 3 Neanderthals together and knock this motherfucker out.
We have the meat.
Yeah, it's fascinating because all 3 of these companies have had, I guess you'd call them major pivots, at least from their point of view. hireEZ was HireTool. They were sourcing, and now they're sort of an all-encompassing marketing platform. Talroo, of course, was jobs to careers, I think.
Yep.
Now they're Talroo, and Nexxt, of course, was Beyond.
Beyond.com.
By the way, I don't think Bed Bath & Beyond has done anything with that URL, which is kind of stupid. But that's a different show in a different industry. So all of these companies have a history of pivoting, seeing that something doesn't work. How do we figure it out? And then trying something new. Now I think they have a real mountain to climb. Indeed has brand, they have resources, they've been around for a long time. I know that people are upset, but yes, I do believe 80% of their customers will stick with them. 20%, however, will look for alternatives, whether it's ZipRecruiter in our example with Hamra or other options, programmatic, etc. Ultimately, this conglomerate, I guess, this solution combination will be looked at by a lot of companies. Whether it becomes big or not, you're talking about mammoths and I don't know. This may be more of a minnow that they catch.
I'm talking about the Neanderthals taking down the mammoth,
But unfortunately, we know what happened to the Neanderthals. They were superseded by the Homo sapiens, who now have podcasts talking about the Neanderthals.
They evolved, yes.
So they evolved. I wish them luck. I love that they all adapt. They've all changed throughout their history.
Yeah,
there may be another change if this one doesn't work. I know partnerships are very challenging. You have different cultures. You have different, there's too many chefs in the kitchen. Like, are all of these complementary? Do they compete? Will they create stuff that competes with each other? Like, it's very hard to make these things work. They're hard to work when they're consolidations with acquisitions. It's really hard in terms of partnerships. And we know that all of the leaders of these companies have their own personalities. They're all kind of very different, but also similar. So it'll be fun to watch. I think it's a puncher's chance maybe that they make this thing work. But otherwise it's tough. I will say that I did some research in terms of headcount. Mm-hmm. So all of them, their 2-year graph is a decrease in headcount. However, in the last year, they've all added headcount, which tells me that they've all realized they have to make tough decisions, lay people off, reevaluate what they're doing. But they've all come out of that 2-year decrease into an escalation of what they're doing. So they all seem to believe what they're doing. If they can all get together and achieve something that is great, like, we'll continue to talk about it and cheer it on. But history is not necessarily on their side, but we'll be watching and rooting for the Chad's a fan, everybody.
Go get him, guys.
Chad's a fan.
Go get him.
Yay, Neanderthals. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Of course, Chad mentions eating mammoth right before lunch. I always appreciate that. But guys, if you haven't left us a review online, please do so. It helps us with the algorithms. There's more algos than Indeeds, and we need to climb to the top. So please leave a review, give us a star, give us a follow. We appreciate it, and we'll be right back. Guys, before we get into our final segment, it is sponsored by free T-shirts.
What?
Who doesn't love the free T-shirts from Chad and Cheese? It's like a hug from Chad and me on your body. And we have Aaron to thank for all that. Aaron App, the company behind those crazy red shoes all over social media, all over LinkedIn. But you can't get the T-shirt unless you go to chadcheese.com/free. So go there today to get your T-shirt for that warm hug from Chad and Cheese. All right, Chad, AppCast has launched AppCast career sites.
There we go.
Wait a minute, I got to check my notes. Is this a story from 2010? 2000 what? Okay. Oh, no, it's now. Okay, here we go. It's a new product that combines career site design, employer branding, SEO, and recruitment marketing analytics. The AI-ready career site technology aims to improve candidate conversion and support both traditional and AI-powered job discovery. This launch expands AppCast's offerings beyond programmatic recruitment advertising, providing a connected recruitment marketing solution. Career sites, Chad, cutting-edge innovation from AppCast. What you got?
If you take AI out of the release, it's a throwback to 2008.
They stuck AI in there just to look innovative. Yeah,
literally just went and got they went and got the old one. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we make fun, we laugh, but this, I mean, again, it all started back in 2008 or so. But going down funnel for these guys just makes sense. It expands the TAM. There's definitely a need, as we talked in earlier, podcasts. I mean, Jobs to Web was bought how many fucking years ago? I think it's like 2012 or something like that. I mean,
I think before that, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, sold to Success Factors. And I mean, so you've got all these players who were bought. They were eaten up by these core systems, these applicant tracking systems. Mm-hmm. And then they just atrophied and they became shit. So now we have a need once again for career sites. Ta-da. And we have an opportunity for companies like AppCast to get into that, right? So, but here's the cautionary part.
Yeah.
A cautionary tale.
Is this a history lesson? Is this a history lesson?
No.
I think it is.
Time for
I think it is. It feels like a history lesson. All right, go on.
Just know, especially if you're AppCast clients, it is to ensure that the connection to the ATS is not providing disposition data, because remember, as Lou Goodman said, Job descriptions suck. Capacity sucks. Disposition codes suck. That's 3 out of 106 reasons why disposition codes are not the answer. Because if you start giving that garbage signal to your vendors, you're just going to get garbage results. So I hope this is more cosmetic. It's more procedural, more focused, more TAM opening than it is disposition data grab. I hope that's not what it is. Matt, hopefully you're doing this for the good reasons, man. Hopefully it's for the good reasons.
Yeah.
Was it the chat?
The chat was great.
So to your point, on one hand, our industry is not the most forward-thinking industry in the world. And yes, jobs to web.
Yeah.
People are still building these things.
Yeah.
Shaker's still building career sites.
Happy Dance, baby. Happy Dance.
Happy Dance. Like
Happy
that's a startup. Guys, yeah. Happy Dance hasn't been around for 20. Like
no.
Companies are being started for career sites, for God's sakes. So why in the world would AppCast? I get why an agency would do it. Agencies love it. They get to be all artsy fartsy and brandy and they love that. But why is AppCast, who's a tech company, who's a programmatic job advertising solution, why in the world would they want to get into career sites? Who bought AppCast a few years ago, Chad? Stepstone. Okay. Who did AppCast acquire a few years ago? Bayard. What does Bayard do? They're an agency. What do agencies do? They love artsy fartsy shit that they could do branding, et cetera. So to me, this is Stepstone saying, hey, you know what? We need more business for Bayard. How do we make AppCast a little generator for leads into the Bayard business? Well, hey, career sites. And by the way, career sites now with AI, they can be built pretty easily. You can build sites pretty interestingly, quickly with AI. So on one hand, I think the whole programmatic business is challenged. We talk a lot, or I do anyway, about how 80% of a company's budget is typically some mix of LinkedIn and Indeed, and then the 20% is ZipRecruiter, programmatic, Dice, and whatever else you can throw in the mix.
Yeah.
So it's a fist fight between these companies, and like programmatic from a job seeker's perspective is awful. I got to jump through hoops. I got to go through many links. Like it's not a great system. So I think if we had the internal numbers for these companies, we would find that they're stagnant, if not decreasing in terms of revenue. So how do we kill two birds with one stone? We bring more money into AppCast with a new product. We bring more business to Bayard because we have sort of a way like, oh, here's a simple career site. If you want the premium model, like we're going to pass you over to Bayard. So now we get Bayard more business. We lock people in more to the AppCast ecosystem. Everybody makes more money. I don't think this is a decision by AppCast. I don't think they would have made this. Like, let's do career sites. I think it was from up top that said, you know what? We need to like filter more money and opportunity throughout all of our businesses. And we think career sites is a way to do that. And here we go. AppCast career sites.
Yeah, I disagree to some extent because if you think about it from, let's just say from Google for Jobs, right? And trying to get Google juice out of this, if you have the company's URL and you're funneling all the data through your platforms, what can you do with that, right? And how can you also press Indeed out of some of those, right? So, I mean, I think there's some good strategic reasons for that. And you're also talking about data collection. How much data are they collecting within those websites? Today, it used to be, and I mean, with jobs to web, you know, they would create an SEO website and it was all literally cosmetic, but it was also functional from an SEO standpoint. This will happen there too, but there's also going to be data collection. I can almost guarantee data collection that happens there. So I think from an AppCast standpoint, that does mean something, which is, again, back to my caution that, look, they're going to be collecting some data to be able to push back to you. Don't allow disposition data and some of that other data to flow back through the tube the other way.
Since the dawning of this industry, if you control the ATS, you control everything. And if you're a job posting, you're always susceptible to the ATS squeezing you out or make it. So I do agree. Like if this is a move by AppCast to say, look, the job programmatic thing is challenged, disposition data, whatever is, that's where the key is. And how do we get AppCast and Bayard together, where Bayard does the artsy stuff, we do the back end tech stuff. then we can control the job distribution, what comes in, what comes out. And that does make total sense to me. Almost as much sense, Chad, as the dad jokes that drop at the end of every episode. You did a dad joke earlier. I know you want a penis
joke.
No, well, yeah, I did. We haven't been on in a while. I wanted to give you a little extra special taste of the dad joke.
That's
before you get back to your World Cup, and so do I. Emmy's not a fan of the clean jokes, so this is for Emmy. I'm going to bring the dirty back and bring the naughty back. Chad,
so bad.
Chad, she's naughty herself. Chad, what does a lesbian with two peg legs say to her girlfriend? What does a lesbian with two peg legs say to her girlfriend?
I refuse to answer upon the site that it might incriminate me.
All right. What does a lesbian with two peg legs say to a girlfriend, Chad? Scissor me timbers.
Thanks,
we
Emmy.
out.
Thanks, Emmy. We out.
Thank you for listening to, what's it called? A podcast. The Chad. The Cheese. Brilliant. They talk about recruiting. They talk about technology. But most of all, they talk about nothing. Just a lot of shout-outs of people you don't even know. And yet you're listening. It's incredible. And not one word about cheese. Not one. Cheddar. Blue. Nacho. Pepper jack. Swiss. So many cheeses and not one word. So weird. Anywho, be sure to subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode. And while you're at it, visit www.chadcheese.com. Just don't expect to find any recipes for grilled cheese. It's so weird. We out!